We got Jeff Fedotin, our Believe in Chiefs host, joining us over here. Maybe his arch nemesis of the week, B. Lang.
Can we talk reality?
Let's talk reality.
We're going to start this off with reality. Andy Reid is a great coach. Andy Reid is a good coach. Let's go back in time. Andy Reid's with the Philadelphia Eagles. Incredible defenses, unbelievable defenses. Only took them to one Super Bowl. In that Super Bowl against the New England Patriots, he had the better team. Donovan McNabb threw up all over himself, literally, in the first half of that game and probably cost the Eagles that Super Bowl. But that being said, down 2 scores, 5.5 minutes to go in the fourth quarter. They got the ball on their own 22-yard line, needed to go hurry up, score as fast as you could. Andy's play calling, the drive took 8 hours, 7 days, and 21 minutes, and they scored literally with about 28 seconds to go on the clock, not enough time to do anything, and they lost that Super Bowl. Let's continue to go forward. The Super Bowl against the San Francisco 49ers. Andy Reid coached like garbage for about 3.5 quarters. Then Patrick Mahomes threw literally a punt to Tyreek Hill on a post corner that hung up in the air for about 4 hours and 71 minutes. And it was 2 Chris Jones
5 hours and
passes,
11 minutes for those who do
2
math.
Chris Jones tip passes on consecutive
We're going to
possessions
fact check parts of these later,
that
but
literally allowed Andy Reid to win that Super Bowl, or he wouldn't have one. And shall we go to Tampa Bay and Kansas City?
Please.
I don't know what CBD treats Andy was sucking in for the 2 weeks watching film, but I will tell you this. No human being in their right mind would have watched film for 2 weeks leading to the Tampa Bay Super Bowl and say my offensive line can block that Tampa defensive front. So, hey, Eric, come here. Eric B., come here. Our game plan has got to be get the ball out of Patrick Mahomes as fast as possible. We can't 3-5-step drop. They're going to be all over us. Our offensive line is garbage. Let's make sure our game plan is accordingly. Of course, Andy Reid's son's knocking people off the freeway. Of course, that distracted him for probably 2 weeks. We're dealing with reality here, people of America. And they go into that Super Bowl, and Andy Reid didn't make not one adjustment as the game went. And 31-9 later, arguably the second worst coaching performance in Super Bowl history behind Sean McVay against Bill Belichick and the Rams and Patriots.
Oh, they blew that
That,
one.
my friends, is the good coach, Andy Reid. So if you want to trust the man who has not missed a meal since Christ came back 2,000 years ago, if you want to trust a man that coaches in a food coma, be my guest. This defensive line is better than the Tampa Bay Bucks from 2 years ago. And friends, I'm all over the Philadelphia Eagles.
Jeff, respond. Go for it. Knock yourself out.
That was great, man. Listen,
They can't do it better.
Andy Reid in the clutch, pre-Mahomes era, he would often drop the ball. To say, though, that he was a bad coach, I mean, he had like
I didn't
some,
say
He didn't
bad.
He didn't say bad. He did not say bad. I'm mediating and didn't say bad.
He had like some Schottenheimer, to put in Believe in Chiefs lingo, he had some like Schottenheimer-esque qualities of being a great coach. It's very hard to go back and back and back to the title games, but then coming up short in the biggest of games. Now, though, he has the biggest eraser of all, Patrick Mahomes. He can make questionable things, and the margin used to be pretty slim. Now the margin is so big. He can make gaps. He can make questionable decisions. He can have too much indigestion from too many cheeseburgers, and he'll be okay because he has the ultimate eraser.
I told you. I don't know what 4-leaf clover the Kansas City Chiefs have packed in their cleats, because this year they should have lost to the Chargers twice. They should have lost to the Raiders on Monday night at home. They should have lost to the Houston Texans, a garbage team that they had to go to overtime to beat by 6. They should have lost to the Denver Broncos twice. This is a football team that literally has been living on borrowed time. I said it already. I would have loved Jacksonville to score and cut it to 3 and watch my favorite line from Pulp Fiction, wake up the Gimp. The Gimp's asleep. Well, wake him up. Jacksonville scores. They cut it to 3, and here comes the Gimp out on that drive. Let's see what happens here. What's the fat man going to call? The noose is tight. The belt's tight from all that food. I would have loved to seen that possession leading Jacksonville by 3, but we'll never get to see it because they fumble at the 5-yard line. And then Cincinnati, whose defense gets it back twice to Joe Burrow with 7 minutes to go. And what happens? Joe Burrow implodes on a level of epic proportions. Take your cigar in your fur coat, Joe, and go suck off because you buried the world and allowed Kansas City to get to the Super Bowl again. I have respect for Dak Prescott, who after the Niners game got in the press conference after and says, my defense played well enough for us to win this game. I didn't play well enough. I've got to play better. I would have more respect for Joe Burrow to go in the press conference after and go, I let the Chiefs off the hook. My D played great. I sucked in the fourth quarter. I got to be better. What did Joe say? Well, you learn from your wins. You learn from your losses. And we'll be better after this.
Joe had the 2 picks, but I think a lot of it on the offensive line. So many injuries, didn't have time to throw.
But even with the offensive line and everything that went down in the game, if you would have went to Joe Burrow and you would have went to their coach, Zach Taylor, before the game and said, tie game, 6.5 minutes to go, 2nd and 2 at your own 37. Will you take that? He just said, oh, my God, we win the game.
Right, you can't throw 2 picks.
Joe imploded in the fourth quarter. He went to a strip bar and he went directly to the champagne room instead of stopping at the bar and seeing who's working. That's the mistake Joe made. You can't do that. You have to go to the bar. You have to see every girl that's coming through, pick the one you want, and then go to the champagne room. Joe Burrow made the rookie mistake. He left his credit card in the champagne room and he got banged out big time. No cash prizes, nothing, no Wheel of Fortune. Joe Burrow allowed your Kansas City Chiefs to get to the Super Bowl.
You're speaking of hypothetically, these champagne room scenarios, pure hypothetical analogy.
No,
right?
it's
Not personal.
It's personal. It's personal experience.
That guy is the champagne room. What are you talking about?
I am from Vegas. The Super Bowl's in Vegas next year. You come hang out with B Lang. It's Star Trek. We will go where no man has gone before. Cue up Captain Kirk, baby.
Is this in your opinion, does the luck run out on Sunday for the
Yes,
Chiefs?
because now let's talk seriously. I'm 25-5 in Super Bowls. The first thing I look at when I handicap a Super Bowl
Coin flip
is, we'll get to that in a second, it's the offensive and defensive lines. Who's going to control the line of scrimmage? And when I have a superior advantage right from Jump Street, that tells me the right side of the game is the Philadelphia Eagles.
Is that the biggest tell? Because that's their strength, obviously. The line of scrimmage, Eagles both ways.
Well, I'll ask you
this.
this.
The biggest determinant in predicting Super
I'll
Bowls?
ask you this. Have the Chiefs not struggled to stop the run all year long?
They actually statistically
They've been better lately.
Pretty good against the run.
But most of the time throughout the year, they struggled.
It's a skewed statistic, too, because the Chiefs have done well statistically, but they get up on so many teams, and their offense is so explosive. A lot of teams can't, they're out of the running game. They're having to play catch-up ball. So it's a little bit of a skewed stat.
They are playing the best offensive line they have seen
that is true.
all year long. They are facing the best defensive line they have seen all year long. And when you get into that situation against an RPO and a mobile quarterback, it is the hardest offense to defend on the planet. And if you have rookies in your secondary who are forced to make decisions on the run, there's a weakness. It's their secondary. It can be exploited. Just ask Trevor Lawrence in Jacksonville in the second half, especially in the fourth quarter, when they got
I'd love to see you guys.
They got no pressure on Lawrence in the fourth quarter. Chris Jones, his name was not even mentioned in the Jacksonville game. Hello, Chris. Chris, anybody home? Anybody home, McFly? You know what happened if I handed my homework with your handwriting? I'd get expelled, McFly. Would you want that to happen to McFly? Chris Jones, Back to the Future.
Got you.
Got it. Not even mentioned. Then you get a garbage offensive line like the Bengals, and, of course, he has a good run. Yes. So, end of the day, I will trust the Philly run game. I'll trust their defensive line to get pressure. The Chiefs' offensive line, I will give you, is better than it was in Tampa. But this D-line they are seeing on Sunday is better than that D-line.
And the Chiefs' offensive line is a little soft on the edges. The interior, very, very good.
Yep.
But the edges.
By the way, is the left tackle Wiley?
Orlando Brown, left tackle, right tackle,
Wiley.
Little history lesson for you. Andrew Wiley went to Eastern Michigan. Andrew Wiley graduated from a little high school called Midland High School in Midland, Michigan. Your boy Brandon Lang is a 1981 graduate of Midland High School in
cool.
Midland, Michigan. Andrew Wiley is a Midland chemic, ladies and gentlemen, just like your boy, B. Lang.
B. Lang, Jeff Fedotin.
Midland High Chemics.
Believe.
Andrew, you are going down. Andrew, you are going to be out like a fat girl in dodgeball, brother. That's all I got to say.
Jeff, any closing words?
I mean, well, I can't compete with that. I do listen. You make a compelling case, and I'm really I've been asked for picks. I've gone the Chiefs by little, just going with Mahomes. I trust him more than Hurts, but I would not be surprised at all if the Eagles, for the reasons that you said, they clearly have the best offensive line, best defensive line in football. Very complete team. That's why I'm so excited.
Okay, so I'll make your day, and
Yeah.
we'll end it on this. You can bet your children's unborn children's children on the next words that come out of my mouth. Travis Kelce, anytime touchdown, minus 140. Get you some of that, and you'll be a winner on Super Sunday.
And so
Boom.
are my kids and my grandkids.
And a lot of the kids in the future, the year 3000. We'll see you guys then. Fisher, Fedotin, and him, B. Lang.